everybody. Welcome to Serenity Cards and Coaching. Welcome to 12 Weeks to a Wow Christmas with Bethany and Lela. We are in week 10. In 10 weeks, this will take us to the middle of December. And Bethany and I have partnered together to bring you 12 wow projects to get you through Christmas. And so you are at Serenity Cards and Coaching. My name is Lela Monkey. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and certified Gallup Clifton Strengths Coach. And I am grateful to have you as part of my community. So today, for our project, we are going to be making this cute Is It Christmas Yeti box. And let's take a look at what's inside this fun little box. Da, da, da. A Hostess snowball. Oh my goodness, these Hostess snowballs are super fun and super yum. And isn't this exactly what this little Yeti would be throwing? That kind of snowball. So we're going to go ahead and learn how to make this box today. I'm also going to show you some other ways you could use exactly the same size box with different decorations. But let's go ahead and get started and learn how to make the box, and then we'll get them decorated up with Yeti. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. First of all, you are my email subscribers. I thank you very much for subscribing. In the same email that you received the link to this video, exclusive video, not available to anyone else, you would have also received a link to a PDF. And the PDF has step-by-step instructions. I really go out of my way to really provide very thorough instructions that are super easy to understand and work well in concert with the video. So to make the box, you only need one piece of cardstock. You're going to start with polished pink, and I'll show you how to cut it and how to score it. Of course, I've already stamped some snowflakes on mine for the interest of time, but you're going to start with one piece of cardstock. And it's going to go best if you work on the big one first. So you're going to go ahead and cut at 7 3/4. And then you're going to further take this piece and cut it down to 7. Then you're going to have a remaining piece. You're going to cut that guy down to 7 1/4 and trim him to 3 1/4. So again, all these measurements are in the PDF. So with your piece that's 7 3/4 by 7, and I'll show you this right here if you want to take a little screen grab. Those are all the cut and score lines. So there you go. You can rewind and kind of freeze that. But for 7 3/4 by 7, now we're going to further come in and we're going to do some scoring. So on the long side, we're going to score at 3 inches, and we're going to score at 4 3/4. And then on the short side, we're going to score at 1 3/4, and we're going to score at 5 1/4. So that's the scoring for this box. Then we're going to score this box, and we're going to do again on the long side. We are going to do 1 1/2 and 5. And then on the short side, we're going to do 3/4, and then we're going to do 2 1/2. So now you'll have your pieces cut and scored. Maybe before the scoring you may want to stamp, but you could do it after as well. I've gone ahead and I've stamped a bunch of snowballs. And so what we're using today is we're using the Yeti to Party stamp set. And look, this fun guy. It's the Abominable Snowman. And we're using a number like the Is It Christmas Yeti, we're using the mug, we're using the banner, and then I'm using both of these snowflakes. So what I did, just kind of for a little shortcut, is I put both of the snowflakes on one block, and I'm using polished pink ink on polished pink paper. And it works best if you have a Stampin' Pierce mat underneath what you're doing, so especially if you're using photopolymer. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm going to pop him underneath, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to do one more stamping just to show you. So I'm going to stamp that guy right there, and now they've all been stamped all over. So again, you could do that before you score. Is probably a better idea, but you could do it before or after, and we're going to be able to, if there's any little boo-boos, we're going to be able to cover those up anyway. All right, so now we've got the pieces for the box, and I'll show you where we're gonna go. So, and let me show you again how the box works. So, of course, it seals at the top, and then it's going to open on the side. It's a side opening box. So this is the large box and this is the side. So let's start with the side first. It doesn't matter which one we start with, but let's start with the side first. The side first is the smaller piece, and ultimately this is what we want our smaller piece to look like. And so I'm going to show you how we can get there. And you'll notice this piece is a little shorter. It's like not even on both sides. So we've got the shorter piece on the top and the longer piece on the bottom. So to go ahead and get this piece ready, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut away the 4 corners. And then in this particular case, we are going to miter. So in this case, we get these 2 corners lifted, and then we're going to come in and we're further just going to kind of give a little breathing room for when we go to kind of seal that box. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see it, but we're basically just giving some breathing room for when we close up our box. Well, maybe you are going to see it a little bit, but nobody's going to be looking at exactly that piece. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut my final corner, and I'm going to miter a little bit more right there. So that guy is gone, and that guy is gone. Oops, went a little bit quickly. That guy's gone, and that guy's gone. All right, so that's that guy. And now we're going to do just a little bit more tidying. One thing we want to do is this bottom piece is going to get adhered inside. This is going to be the side mechanism. This right here is the side mechanism. So this is going to get adhered into the bottom of the base, and he's a little wide right now. So we're going to narrow him out just a tiny little bit. I'm just going to cut like not even, I don't know, truly if you were to measure it, it's probably a 1/16 of an inch. I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit. And this is so that when we go to fold the box, it just has a nice smooth closure. So I'm cutting off just the tiniest little bit, and there I've done that. Now on the top, what do we want to do? I'm so excited about the top of this box. So have you guys ever worked with a zero-based ruler? I want to show you what it's like to work with a zero-based ruler. So this is our grid paper. By the way, if you didn't get a wish list out, get a wish list out, because I'm going to be sharing things that you're for sure going to want. So we've got our grid, and if you don't have our grid paper, it's great even just for this function. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this tab and I'm putting it so that the 0 is in the middle. And you can tell that because this would be 1 inch, this would be 1 inch, that would be right in the middle. And I'm just going to put a little dot right there. And the reason I'm doing that is because, again, we're going to want to put this in the center. Trust me, I've tried eyeballing it and I've tried doing it that way, and it can be a little crooked or it can be a little like off to the side. And because this is such a prominent part of the top of it, you really want to be able to see it. So I'm going to put that little mark right there, and then I'm going to come in. This Label Me Fancy punch is, I mean, we've used it a lot just for the label on its own, right? But we haven't really used it for like the feature of ribbon threading. But if you can see, there's a punch here that allows for ribbon threading. And then there's a kind of a hole punch there if you want a hole punch. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this tab through so that, and how am I lining it up? I really do want it straight. So I'm making sure that I'm putting it in straight, and I want it where that circle's, where my pencil mark is in the middle. So as much as I can, I'm going to make sure I'm straight and centered. And look, that worked out really, really nicely. Okay, so our bottom piece is done. The only thing I want to make sure to do is just give it some good score, good burnishing, good scoring, because this piece is going to be moving a lot, right? So anytime you have pieces that are going to be moving a lot, you want to make sure that they've got the freedom to move. And you do that by really basically what we're doing is breaking up the I don't know, the texture in the paper. We're breaking up the threads in the paper. All right, so now that guy's ready. Now let's work on the box top. I mean the box side. So, or the box, I should say. All right, so that's the box. And where we're headed with the box, we are headed here with the box. So we want to have all our little tabs. We have all our little tabs, and then you can see this guy's just a little bit shorter, so I'm going to show you how we're going to get that. We're actually literally going to cut it, and then we're going to do the same technique to get the ribbon hole there. So let's get this cut. And again, I've already stamped it. You already saw all that. I'm going to go ahead and cut up the sides of my box. Now this box, I showed you that it holds a Hostess snowball perfectly. Actually, it was Bethany's turn to create the project this week. Bethany and I are taking turns with our different projects. So it was her turn this week, and she made these up because she's got little grandkids. And so she made these up because she's going to give a bunch and get ready. They do a countdown to Christmas with her grandkids. So, so she measured all this up, and she made sure that the Hostess snowball fit right inside. I don't have grandkids, so actually I've got some other ideas in mind, and I'll show you that, how I'm going to use this exact same design with even some different papers and some different patterns. You can shorten the steps a little bit by maybe not stamping and using designer series paper. Okay, so I've taken the box. I've decided that this is going to be the top. And so I'm like lining that up right there, and I want to cut off 1/4 of an inch. So I'm making sure that I'm doing that straight. I'm just cutting off 1/4 of an inch. You could absolutely eyeball it. I chose not to because this is the box top, and I really want it to be as aligned as perfectly as it can be. So now we're going to use our same zero-based ruler. We're going to get that guy in the middle. And again, he's also, and it makes sense, right? He's going to fit right between the two 1 inches. So we're going to get him right there. And then I'm going to come down a little bit on the 0, and I'm just going to put that right there, pencil mark. So there we go. And now I'm going to come in with my punch, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look visually as I do it. I'm going to make sure that I'm keeping the line straight. I'm going to make sure that the pencil mark is in the center, and I'm going to go ahead and punch. Now I'll tell you, if for some reason, oops, so you can clamp the punch kind of in 2 steps. So once I get it positioned where I want, I can grip it and get like a really solid hold, and then reposition my hands, and it's not going to move. So perfect. But if it weren't perfect, my sisters and I always say, oh my gosh, if it's not perfect, that's an invitation to do more embellishing, right? So in this case, well, I'm not going to show you the bottom yet, but I was making a box earlier, and I made a boo-boo. I didn't have it completely straight, so I used some designer series paper. You're going to want to put that on both sides because the hole goes on both sides. So I did that, and then you can't even tell. All right, so I've got my box shape ready, and I've got my side ready. So let me go ahead and get these all burnished. And while I'm doing this, what are some things I would highlight? Yeah, so this box is also great for, I've got a gift for my team. What does that mean? Well, I am going to on stage. I'm with Stampin' Up, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator. I love it. I'm celebrating my 15 years. So when I go to on stage, which is an event in Anaheim, California this year in November, I'm celebrating my 15 years, and I'm going to get recognized. And anybody who's a Stampin' Up demonstrator can go. And it just so happens that a couple of my team members are going, and so I got them a little gift. I'll show you that in a little bit, but I'm using this exact same box for that gift, and I can't reveal what's inside till they get it, but I can show you the box. It's super fun. All right, we've got our makings all ready. Now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to kind of show you quickly, and then I'll come back and do it a little bit slower. But this, oh, I forgot to, let me do these. So let me finish talking. So we're going to on stage in the beginning of November, and because I'm a leader, I get to go to center stage, and I'm so excited. So I get Friday night, I just get to get pampered by Stampin' Up, and I get to see the catalog early and just connect with other demonstrators. I'm so excited about that. So and not everybody, I guess I'm supposed to say, not everybody becomes a leader, and it takes time. It takes commitment, and it's not like a guaranteed result, but I'm just so grateful to be able to do it. I'm so excited. So more to come about that in a minute, but our box is now the next stage of ready. So let me show you what's going to happen, and I'm going to do it really quickly here, but I'll slow down with it. So this is going to become the box, and this is going to be the box side that only gets adhered just right here. So I'm going to adhere the bottom first, and then I'm going to assemble the box. So here's how we're going to do that. This is why we cut in like a little 1/16 of an inch. And I know I've got snowflakes on both sides. That's fine. You're actually going to see it, but I'm going to go ahead and, okay. Yep. Perfect. I've got the outside on the outside. I've got the inside on the inside. That's great. So as you're doing this, make sure, like, if you've got preferred sides that you want to feature, make sure you've got your preferred side showing where you want them. So this is how, I don't know if you saw how I did that, but I adhered, I lined it up, right? So the score mark here reached the end of the edge there, because that's going to be the box right there. And to make sure that it was exactly lined up, I kind of turned it over and just, I really like my boxes to have good solid movement. So I definitely made sure that I lined it up where I wanted it. So there's that guy. So honestly, that's it for the side piece. We are done with the side piece. Now we need to assemble the rest of the box. And the way that's going to come together is this little tab's going to go up, and this big tab is going to go under. And we're going to adhere that, and we'll just keep this guy off to the side. So to do that, I really only need adhesive one place. I'm not going to put any adhesive on that guy. I'm going to put adhesive here, and then I'm going to kind of fold it over. So let me get my adhesive on the inside of the bottom flap, and this guy will just fall where he needs to, so I can ignore that. But let me get this placed like that. And honestly, the PDF will have some good photos in it. You can watch this a couple times. But honestly, once you're cutting it and scoring it and doing it, you will absolutely get it. So I've adhered the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a good burnish so that it's good and adhered. So you can see that bottom is nice and adhered. And now we have most of the box complete. So let's just finish up the top. So this is going to be, it's a side opening box, right? So this is going to be, I think I like this way better for a number of reasons. One, this is going to be the front, and so I want this seam there. I don't want to cut there. And so I'm going to go ahead, and also I like the pattern better. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on this side. And I'm not going all the way to the corners. You know what? It's a box, and it's going to stay steady. It's not going anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get that adhered. And then I like to turn it upside down and just give it a good burnish that way. So now the top is burnished and moved out of place a little bit. So I'm going to get them in place how I like them. I'm just going to let them sit stable for a minute. All right, so perfect. So you guys, our box is done. So that's going to go like that, and that's going to fold over, and our box is done. So now we want to get the front of our box decorated, and we're not going to seal it up until we get everything inside of it. But now you can see why I really wanted to take care with the precise cutting and kind of the precise placement of the ribbon thread, right? So, all right, so that guy's ready. And you know what, I'm noticing that's a little bit off, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I don't think anybody's going to notice it. You could come in with some You could come in and trim that if you wanted. You could have trimmed it ahead of time a little bit. So if you want that extra finishing touch, I don't think anybody's going to notice at all. I think they're just going to be so excited about the gift on the inside that I don't think anybody's going to notice. So I've got my box finished. I'm going to put my box off to the side. And now we're going to decorate Yeti. And I've pre-done a few things just in the interest of time. So I stamped Yeti in Memento Black. I stamped the banner in Memento Black. And the colors that I'm using Pool Party blends. I'm kind of using some polished pink, Flirty Flamingo, and Bermuda Bay are kind of my colors here. But there were a few things I did want to do on camera for you. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to stamp a cup in Yeti's hand. Now, you might think, why on earth are you doing that? You're making it look a little bit messy. Well, I know that's where I want the cup to be. And I am not, so I'm going to give a dimensional cup, and I'm not going to cut out like the little hot chocolate steam coming off of it. So I'm going to come in with my soft suede blend, and I'm going to color here, although you're probably not going to see it. And I'm just going to kind of give a little bit of soft suede, aroma coming out. And then since I've got it open, I'll come over here and color the mug as well. The rest of it's not going to be seen, so we'll leave that be. Now I've done Pool Party, just kind of lined all along the edge of Yeti, just to give a nice little shadow. So I've done it on the inside of the arm, all the way inside. I did a little bit of jaggedy movement, just a nice little outline. And then I colored in light Pool Party on the face. So I'll just finish that here just to show you that. I'm just doing a light Pool Party just kind of on the face, and it all blends nicely. So that's our sweet little face right there. And then I want to show you how I did the tongue. I like how I did the tongue. So the tongue kind of has two little, like, I don't know, it has like a little, like tongues do, it has a little kind of line down the middle. So what I like to do, rather than coloring the whole thing, I'm going to color half of it basically, and I'm going to leave the other half of it with a little bit of white. That just gives, like, anytime you can give a little extra dimension or a little bit of texture, it just gives a nice little touch. So that's what I've done with the tongue right there. And then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring in my banner. I told you I alternated Bermuda Bay and I think Flirty Flamingo. So I've got my banner, and there we have it. Oh, and you know what color I want to do my mug? I'm just going to do my mug in Flirty Flamingo. So I'll just get this guy colored, and then I'll get him fussy cut. And then I want to show you, because I've added some snowflakes and that was kind of fun. And I want to show you how I did that. I used a masking technique to do the snowflakes. And you guys, I bought our masking paper and I can't find it. I really wanted to show you how to use it. So not today. So I'm using like super sticky stickies, but I've stamped the Yeti on some super sticky stickies, 2 of them. I put them together, and then I cut it out, and I'm using that as a mask on Yeti, and he fits perfectly. Now what I did when I cut it was I cut kind of just inside the lines, and I'll tell you why I did that. So if you see, you can still see like a little bit of the black line that's stamped, right? So I cut just inside the black line, and Yeti's got a pretty thick black outline, so that worked out pretty well. But I did that because I don't want a halo effect. If you cut, even though your instinct might be to cut like outside the black line so that you're like not touching it at all, you are going to get a halo effect. And so I don't want that. I don't want the halo effect. This banner was a little fussier, I will tell you, to cut. So I don't know how much stamping we're going to do around that guy. But anyway, so now I've got the banner, and I'm using my same snowflakes from before, and I'm using both of them at one time. But this time I'm just going to use some Blushing Bride, because I really just want like a small hint behind the scenes. And I think I am going to use my stamping Pierce mat, because I know I'm just going to get a better stamp when I'm using photopolymer if I use a stamping Pierce mat. So I make sure he's good and centered. I've got my Blushing Bride, and I'm just going to kind of start off to the edge here. and I'm just going to rotate my, I'm going to do it all the way. So we're just going to pretend it's snowing all the way down Yeti. Doesn't matter. It's going to be so cute. It's just like a really subtle thing behind the scenes. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And that feels pretty good. That's it. We just want a few snowflakes. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. So that's that guy. That's it. That was the masking. And now he's almost ready. We're just going to fussy cut our mug. Gotta be really careful taking that banner off if you're going to use him again. So we're going to fussy cut our mug. And we're going to get that guy on. And then I'm going to show you some fun things with the gems. So now there were dies that came with the Yeti, but they're no longer available. So they were available for 1 month. There was like this perfect partners promotion going on. And with the Yeti, you could get not only the stamps, but the matching dies, and can't get them anymore. So so this project isn't using it. This project was designed even before those dies came out. Anyway, so so if you were lucky enough to have the dies, great, then use your die, but we don't have it with us right now. So we're just going to go ahead and use, I could use, maybe I could have used a smaller dimensional, but this will do. I'm going to go ahead and dimensional. I'm going to get my coffee mug on, my hot cocoa mug, and then I want to show you something really, really fun. So we are going to take the adhesive backed sequins and gems, and we are going to take your pick piercing tool, and we're going to take the kind of the pink gem, and we're going to put it right smack dab in the middle. So look how sweet that is. But wait, there's more. We are going to take these kind of, I don't know, antler shaped gems, if you will, and we're going to put those on as the antlers ears. So one thing I love about partnering with Bethany, she sure is wow. And she loves gems and ribbon, just like I love gems and ribbon. And she loves bling, just like I love bling. And so many special touches. So this was, Bethany figured that out, and it's just a super fun special touch. So let's come over to our box. Let's get our snowball inside. Let's close it up here. Let's adhere our abominable snowman to the front, and we'll get our ribbon inside. Now, inside the video that I sent to you guys, inside of the link with the PDF, the link to this video, I also sent you a link to one of my favorite scenes. You know how every Christmas, every holiday season, we all watch all the It's a Wonderful World and Miracle on 34th Street, whatever your traditions are. Well, Rudolph, Rudolph and Santa Claus, I think it's Santa Claus is coming to town. Anyway, in one of those, I'm sorry I don't remember the name, but I sent you the link. Abominable Snowman was in there. The Yeti was in there. And it's truly one of my favorite scenes where he does put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking. Anyway, I can't sing very well, but watch it. It's just a short little clip, but it's one of my very, very favorite scenes. And so I was so excited when this Yeti came out. All right, so we are just about to finish. Oh, and then the tag, I forgot to tell you that. Let's do the final finishing touch. So I've got the measurements for this. The white is 2 3/4 by 1. The Bermuda is 3 by 1 1/4. Stamped in Bermuda Bay. We are going to use these same funny little gems that were antlers before, but now they're like bow, little bow shaped things. So we're going to have a sparkly bow on top of our present for Is It Christmas Yeti. And then I'm just going to eyeball this. So we're going to hope that the eyeball works okay. Just doing this really quickly. Kind of risky, but we're going to come in, we're going to eyeball it, and we're just going to, well, what I am doing is there's lines right here. And so I am using lines as guides as much as I can. So, and I'm also seeing that I'm like straight. I put everything looks straight as near as I can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and punch. There are 2 layers, so this is going to be harder. Ugh, and I think it moved. No, oh my goodness, thank goodness. All right, so perfect. So I got my little guy right there. And then it's as simple as I'm just gonna thread it just like that. This is our white organdy ribbon, which I love, and lots of bling. 16 inches of ribbon, so you definitely want to make sure, you just always want to make sure you have plenty of ribbon. So this is our white organdy glittered ribbon. And then look how sweet that is. Is it Christmas Yeti? So, so that is that guy, but I told you I've done some other ones. So I've also done, like right now, I have a harvest kit that's available right now. It's a Hello Harvest, and it's featuring this designer series paper, actually this ribbon, these leaves and gems, and you are going to get some extra designer series paper if you get the Hello Harvest kit. And so this is something fun you could do with it. You could basically, I didn't even decorate all the way around. I just took like a nice pop-up piece of paper right there, designer series paper, ribbon to enclose. I took the leaf, I stamped in Merlot, with the Merlot kind of Cajun balance. And so look how fun that guy is. So that would be just a great, honestly, you could do that for a table decoration. We've been kind of setting the table, if you will. So that's kind of a fun autumn themed one. And then that is kind of adhered with craft twine. And then I actually popped that on with a dimensional, but you could let it hang or whatever you wanted to do there. And then these are, here's the big reveal. I'm not going to share what's inside, but going to Onstage. Kanika and Melody are also coming to Onstage, although Melody might have a little something where she can't, but she's already registered. And so I got a little present for them. And Anaheim, of course, is near Disney. So this is a very old retired Disney stamp set, balloon set. And so I found that in my retired stash, and I did heat embossing. For those of you that want to see like what does a good embossing look like, that's a great example. It's a big solid image. Anytime you emboss, you just want a nice smooth sheen like that. That's what you want heat embossing to look like. And I had to do it a couple times. On one of them, one kind of had a little splotch. So, but anyway, there's my couple Minnie Mouses, and this is the Gingham Designer Series paper. We've been featuring Alpha Best with all of our, with many of our designs. And so that's the Alpha Best bundle. I'm not going to tell you what's inside. This gingham, I'm about to come out with a new Stamp-a-Stack featuring gingham. So here you go. A couple takeaways. This is how to make this box. That's point one. I do have a Hello Harvest kit still available. So if you want to get in on the action of getting some of this designer series paper, ribbon, and some other matching cards, that's great. I'd love to give a plug for joining my team. We have an awesome team, and it's so great to be part of Stampin' Up. It's just a great community. I love our products. I love our purpose. I love what we do. We connect with each other. We love what we do. We share what we love. And so I'd love to have you on the team. There's a special going on right now for joining the team. Spend $99 and get $155. Spend $99, get $155, and there's no shipping charge. There's tax, but no shipping. And what else would I share? I think, the final thing, I'm trying to get some more subscribers. So if you forward this to a friend and we get a new email subscriber, I will send you both 2 handmade cards from my stash. So thank you for coming to Serenity Cards and Coaching today for 12 weeks of Christmas, and can't wait for you to come back next time when we move this 10 to a 9. Thank you. Bye-bye.